Hi, are you curious to know how to use mindfulness to manage pain? In this video, I will tell you how I've been using mindfulness practice and other techniques to manage lower back pain after 2 injuries at the beginning of September. So I basically spent the whole of September and the start of October in a lot of pain. I still haven't fully recovered and with limited ability to move. I even needed my daughter to get me dressed and undressed in the evening. And the annoying thing was that it all started in such a silly way. One accident was at Gatwick Airport, actually, coming back from England, where I had 2 suitcases that were just too heavy. And I didn't want to pay the hefty excess baggage charge. So even if I could go back in time, I would be more than happy to pay it. But in that moment, I was running late for my flight. And the guy at the desk suggested that I put all the excess kilos into my already full hand luggage. Anyway, so I was bending over in a really bad way, getting things out the suitcase and putting in the hand luggage. And I felt my back go completely. And then I still had to carry the heavy hand luggage around the airport because it was all too heavy for my children to carry. And so that was one thing. And then the other was a silly accident that I had at home where there was some water under the fridge and I didn't see it. I don't have carpet on the floor. It's only tiles. And I was walking barefoot, probably too fast, and I slipped and went flying and fell right on that part of my back, lower back. And the pain was excruciating. So what I wanted to do in this video is tell you how I've been managing that using different mindfulness techniques. So see if it can help you. So let's dive straight in. First of all, one thing I really want to be clear about is that mindfulness is not a miracle cure for pain. What it does is improve the psychological experience of pain. And to be honest, one of the things that I found the hardest was separating literally the physical sensation of pain from the psychological suffering. So what was happening was the intense pain was triggering all of these feelings, these painful thoughts of like self-blame and frustration. I was angry at myself because I was blaming myself for what had happened, and I thought I could have been more careful. So mindfulness helped me to manage my pain better by literally being able to separate it a little bit, step back and separate the psychological pain from the physical pain. And just observe the pain, witness it without it always necessarily triggering the same repetitive thoughts. And this was a big help. It was something that I actually found really useful. So to be able to just sit with the physical sensation of pain and not immerse it in the psychological repetitive thought patterns and thought loops and get it all mixed up in one. I found that being able to switch my attention also to a few minutes of mindful breathing really helped me to stay calm and reduce stress. So just that pause in my thinking where I wasn't focusing on my thoughts, I was focusing on the air coming in and the air coming out and the sensations of breathing. That was a really big help. Another thing that I did was I practiced the loving kindness meditation. I did a video about this last week and you can find the link in the description below. And this helped me too to switch from that self-blame and frustration to more like self-compassion and feel a bit better. It also helped me to let go of some of that self-judgment and be more accepting instead. Because when you're in pain, you need to also be kind to yourself and be a bit compassionate. which is not what I was doing at the beginning. Mindfulness also helped me to stay present and to let go of that tendency to want to go back into the past in my mind so that I could imagine a different outcome, So I was more present in the here and now with the experience of what was happening and more accepting of what was happening instead of, constantly tormenting myself, always going back to those 2 moments when the accidents happened and wishing that I'd been more careful and that there'd been a different outcome. A lot of our suffering comes from that gap between how things are and how we want them to be. Another mindfulness practice that I used that I found really helpful was the body scan, the mindful body scan, where you literally focus your attention on one part of your body after another, and you notice the sensations, if there's any tension, any pain, if it's hot or cold. I'll also put a link to that in the description below. I also got really quiet and asked my body what it wanted to tell me with this continuous pain. What was the message? I actually understood after a while that recently I've been taking on a lot of different projects, a lot of different work, and wanting to manage my offline coaching and teaching here in Italy with a full online presence and business, plus my 2 daughters. And I was starting to feel heavy and weighed down under the pressure that I was putting myself under. So I realized that I was juggling too many projects. So I looked up the affirmation for releasing back pain in this wonderful book by Louise Hay. I don't know if any of you read it. You Can Heal Your Life. I'll put a link in the description below. And at the back of the book, there's a whole list of common illnesses and also the psychological component that contributes to it, and the affirmation for healing. So I looked up the lower back pain one and I wrote it down on lots of little cards, and I left them in places where I would see them often. And for example, next to the bathroom mirror, by the kettle. And my one was, I trust the process of life. All I need is always taken care of. I am safe. Last of all, I used guided healing visualizations, like imagining a warm light that moves through my body, going into each cell, each part of my body, and leaving loving, healing light in its path. I did a guided visualization. I'll put a link also to that in the description below, and also the one that I was using a lot, which is by Stephenson. I love his voice, it's so calming. And last of all, I really looked for the gift in the problem, to see if there was something positive and inspiring that I could find in what had happened and in the pain. And actually I realized 3 things. First of all, that living with the experience of pain is really humbling, and not being able to move that much. And it made me realize how much people suffer, people who have chronic pain. Luckily for me, it was the first time it had ever happened. And also, not being able to move around so much enabled me to make some serious progress on the book I'm writing. And it also triggered me to get in touch with my Buddhist friend Massimo, who I'd literally lost touch with in the last year. And he came and he gave me a wonderful treatment with his Tibetan singing bowls. This is it's a very deep healing experience of vibration and energy and massage. And it's very, very therapeutic and relaxing. It's a beautiful experience if you ever have the chance. So there you go. That was my personal experience of using mindfulness to manage pain, and hopefully in that there was something of use to you. Please let me know in the comments below if you have managed pain in the past, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and hit the bell to be notified as soon as a new video comes out. And until we meet again, have a lovely day.